Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
L'Amérique n'a pas loupé nous. Quand il y a Sylvie, il y a quoi qui j'ai loupé prince. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé. T'as bien de moi avec moi au Ndé. En ce moment, on va battre au moins néo. On t'a dit à ta moumoune, on s'est battu pour moi dit quoi. Abela lo kan yo. Ka go so ju lo. Hey. Awaye. Ati o lo a. Yao. Abela lo kan yo. Níbi tó jọba yìí. Níbi tó yọba. Ma ti si mo kan yo. Ma ja jiji. Wọ́n pe jamais forcé o. Si tu connais. L'animateur Choco Nosca Yassin de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. This is Friday. Samson to is here again tonight. I'm sitting in for Mr. Soul, who is on the weather. Let me say again, I'm sitting in for Mr. Soul. He's on the weather. So I want to make sure that we all get that. No, anyway, thank you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. Mr. Soul will be joining us here, hopefully Sunday. But we're here again tonight. Safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you for this wonderful day. Want to thank you for everything that you do and continue to do for us. We want to thank you. We will stay here and continue to praise you. We will stay here and continue to ask you, pray to you. Ask for your forgiveness. Ask for your blessing. Ask for everything we do for you to provide wisdom and your guidance in the process. My Lord, as we come here again tonight to have this conversation with our brothers and sisters, please guide our thought. Whatever it is that is in the mind of a man like me that have to do with envious and jealousy, take it out. Guide me. Guide the process again tonight. My Lord, we want to thank you for the blessing that you continue to provide for the Republic of Liberia. My Lord, we want to thank you for the continued blessing that you provide for our leadership in the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. Thank you. My Lord, guide the process. Make Liberians all over the world to know that Liberia, yes, indeed, is our country, and we should do all we can in your power by you guiding us, giving us the opportunity to do what we can to make sure that the country move forward. We believe in you, we trust in you, and we pray that you will continue to bless the Republic of Liberia. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, like I said, I'm sitting in tonight for Mr. Soul, who is under the weather. But here's the deal here before I go on. So earlier this afternoon, I called Mr. Soul, to check on him, see how things are doing. And so he said, oh, can you come and sit in for me tonight? I said, okay. Usually when I ice king, like yesterday, I ice king, and he said, how much you going to pay me? He's the CEO. He's not even paying me, and he want me to pay him. I said, I got money. He said, I'm not coming for you. I said, you're not going to say. He said, I'm not sitting in for you tonight. So I was forced yesterday to come. Then this evening, he said, you're not doing well. I got it. So I said, okay, I will sit in for you. This story that I'm telling you, I will repeat it in the middle of the show, and I will repeat it again at the end of the show. So I said, how you doing? That your business? What do you mean I'm a business? How you doing? I'm fine. It's okay. So I told him, some over-the-counter medication that sometimes some of us take that help us out. So I said, have you, go and take this. The one thing about the African, when you're dressed, when you say you dress, then at the time, all the thing that I can be showing up. Look at it hanging all over me. I gotta be pulling. But at the country dress now, that the one we like. We the country people, that the one we like. But anyway, so I told him what type of, over-the-counter medicine that he's supposed to be taking. Said that your store I will go get it from. That my store, I'm telling you, these are the over-the-counter medicine. If you get cold, you can take and get well easy. Then you ice me what at my store. But this is the CEO that we deal with. And somebody asked her the other day, I said, whether he from Sino County, whether he a crew, he part of the crew family. This is what we have. But anyway, let's start the process, folks. We pray that Liberia will be fine. We pray that Liberia will be fine. Things we're hearing from Liberia in terms of Liberians getting involved, I just pray that Liberia will be okay. Because that's all we can do right now. From the information, all of the stuff that we've been reading, which I don't believe is the case, but I will still talk about it anyhow. They've been suggesting, people have been suggesting that President Baka is indeed not in charge of his appointment and the confirmation process and what have you. They believe, and I will read that here tonight, that the Vice President, Jeremiah Cohn, is indeed running the way things are in Liberia, that he has placed most of his insider in these different places. Yes, another one here just came on a few minutes ago. Wife of Bond County Senator Prince Moy's name controversially appears on newly formed LPR-TV board. So I don't know how these things are happening. I don't know what is happening, but for me, it's not because I don't want a job, but this is about our country. Even if I don't want a job, what happened with Jeremiah Cohn then telling us during the campaign that yes, indeed, there will be a system set up for vetting purposes. There will be a system set up where people will be able to be employed based on the merits. What happened to that? And now we're reading that the like of Jeremiah Cohn. Yes, what I'm going to be reading. President Baka's VP amassing power with private jet flight, trip, and control of key areas. Okay. So I'm not going to go read through. Okay, well, let me just read a little bit of it. They talk about the former vice presidents over the years, how they have been able to stay in the background, including President Baka. Okay, how they were able to stay in the background until there was time for them to come out. they talk about President Tubber, how in 1952 he came in on board with Tubman. Samson was denied, and there was another guy that died. But anyhow, but when Tubber came in, he was unassuming. He was just a vice president. Same thing with President Buckeye. Until recently, when President Buckeye told us that he was parked in the garage. Same thing with Vice President Howard. So as a vice president, your role is to assist only when the president asks you to assist. And when you assist, the president can say no. But this, I think I predicted here that sometime, the insider of President Buckeye are now complaining about the power that is being amassed to the vice president. I hope these are not true. Okay? I hope these are not true, because if they are, there will be people that will challenge the action of Jeremiah Coon. There's no, because the Constitution, whoever we're going to challenge that, the Constitution most likely will back that person. So I'm just saying that the vice president have to have on the arm the copy of the Constitution. Okay, so let me go ahead and read what they say about the current vice president. They say, since the end of the Civil War, Liberia has had two successive democratic transitions. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to President Weah, and President Weah to President Joseph Boakai. Throughout these times, the vice presidents elected have quiet personalities. As vice president, Joseph Boakai was like a fly on the wall. Joseph Boakai was like a fly on the wall. Okay? Let me go that again. Okay? Quiet and unassuming. Although Boakai, who later tell Liberians in the presidential debate that he was a car parked in the garage during the 12 years of the Sirleaf leadership. His personality, many political observers say his personality has always been that way. Sirleaf's successor, George Weah, tapped Julia Howard Taylor, the former First Lady and Senator from a vote-rich Bond County, although she has sought the bar for vice president by pledging to not be car parked in the garage. Her 6-year honor Weah was just that, car parked in the garage. In the heat of last year's presidential election, Boakai took major risk and fought off opposition to the man who will become his vice president, Jeremiah Coon. They said, according to what I'm reading, they said he took a major risk. In Coon, Boakai saw a politician with the potential for numbers, the potential for numbers. Coon, as an ally to the former warlord turned Senator Prince Johnson, was worth the risk. He hailed from the vote-rich county that was crucial to Weah victory in 2017 and Sirleaf re-election in 2021. Coupled with the feeling of, where they want to come from now? Coupled with the feeling of Weah administration and the nation eager to see the coalition for democracy out of the door, it was gamble worth taking, and he did. So basically, President Boakai looked at Jeremiah Coon coming from Nima County, felt that the fact that many people want George Weah out, I got to get Nima. So he decided to go after Jeremiah Coon, thereby bringing Nima a vote with Jeremiah Coon. The invisible president. 1 month into Boakai presidency, The coon race become, and folks, and what I'm reading right now is from Front Page Africa, so if you want to follow that, okay? 1 month into the Baka presidency, the coon race become a major debacle for Baka. Multiple aides to the Baka inner circle tell Front Page Africa that the once unassuming businessman and political amateur is flexing his muscle in way no one saw coming. This was a businessman, unassuming senator, amateur senator they call it. But now he's flexing his muscle and nobody saw it coming. They thought he was going to be your normal vice president. It's not happening. He's now getting himself into a position where he will now amass some power to himself. But like I said, the Constitution is the guide. If Liberians feel that Coon is now taking on power that does not subscribe to him by the Constitution, they're most likely going to challenge him. Okay? Frompe has learned that the vice president has quietly pledged many of his allies and confidants in key government positions at the Ministry of Finance, Lands, Mines and Energy, Labor, and LPR-TV, among others. Along with Bon County Senator Prince Moy, whose wife they just made, I will read that one too. He is also pursuing newly appointed ministers and managing directors of state-owned enterprises to appoint his allies in key positions. At Finance, VP Coon has been successful in maintaining Tanya Bronson as Deputy Minister for Budget and Development, a role she has been in since 2015 during the Saline presidency. Anthony Myers, Deputy Minister for Fiscal Affairs, and Dupi Zoe, Deputy Minister for Economic Management, both from Nima County, were also reportedly pushed by Coon. After the Petroleum Referring Company, at the Liberian Petroleum Referring Company, Coon successfully pushed to have his interest as Deputy Manager, Director of Operation, Operation Manager, Chief of Security. Perhaps most visible is the Roberts Flight International region, where much controversy is in recent days across over the appointment of Daniel Johnson as Deputy Secretary General for Administration Affairs at the Robert Flight Information Region. So they're saying Coon is picking strategic position to put his people, according to the story. According to the story. So if these stories are true, that Coon is indeed making ministers, not asking, but making minister to put in the key position, his allies from his region, then why was Prince Johnson making all that noise to say we're not getting what we want? Interesting. We got to keep our eyes on these things. We got to keep our eyes on the thing. Okay. Johnson was one of 3 former humanitarian and aid worker accused of defrauding the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, of roughly $1.9 million that was meant to assist impoverished people and towns in Liberia. The U.S., the American government, the American taxpayer put money in there, gave money to these people, the young people, and they stole $1.9 million. Okay. This is another one that I read. For the immediate future, VP Coon is riding on a high cutting deals and putting his stamp on every sector of government while enjoying the non-interfering. Excuse me, folks. Okay, they'll come back. But anyway, they say his stamp on every sector of government while enjoying the non-interference of the president, who at least for now appears to be in approval of what is unfolding. So that means Samson will not run his mouth that much, because according to the story, that the president seemed to be approving the behavior and the action of Vice President Kong. So I better not go run my mouth if I support Ambassador Bakar, President Bakar. If he's approving these things, then who am I to run my mouth? Even at his own detriment and legacy. For the foreseeable future, however, the end that justifies the mean has some familiar lesson from the memory of lying Liberian complicated past, which has led to international sanction for the immediate past government and senior officials, threatening similar role often traveled by few powerful people, turning a blind eye to the history of both. Now, this is what I want people to understand. The writer here seemed to be suggesting, after telling us that Vice President Kun is everywhere, but the writer is saying, okay, the vice president is doing this. It seems to us that the president is in approval. He's approving those things at the detriment of his own legacy, the president legacy. Now, at the end, the writer is saying, however, these people are now watching up for history, because if Vice President Kong is behaving like this, and that the international community also watching, these are things other people in the past have done, and they ended up on sanction list. They ended on sanction list. Let's keep that also in mind. The other two, okay, those are the gentlemen that ended up injured. Okay. In a certain turn of event, the Senate, okay, the question, okay, VP Kong also pushed another of his interests, Councillor Cooper Crow, at Minister of Justice, a nomination which was later reversed by President Bakar. Crow was found guilty, blah, blah, blah. Many have been taken back at the just, many have been taken back at not just the slow pace of peace, government formation, but rather unorganized manner in which the process has been unfolding. The president appears to have delegated his responsibility to Kun and few senators, including Pro Tempore Nyomli Kanka Lawrence, Senator Abraham Dallas Dillon, Musarado County, and Prince Moyle of Bon County. The decision by the president to delegate nominating and appointing responsibility to others has raised a lot of eyebrows, with many pointing towards that as a key reason Vice President Kun is having his way. Some Liberians are concerned whether President Bakar is outsourcing his constitutional responsibility to appoint government officials to Vice President Kun and others in the same vein as his predecessor, President Weah did when outsourced his appointing power to Ministers of State McGill. For many political observers, Vice President Kun recent overtures appear to be over downing President Bakar. Okay, and then it went on to talk about his vice president, the car, riding the car, and what have you. Okay, it's a long article. Conflict dealing in it's a long article, but let's talk about it a little bit. Okay. So the issue for me right now is this. The issue for me right now is this. I'm not concerned with past history in terms of most of the vice presidents in the past were not overpowering. They were not people who would want to overpower the president. So, and it's the reason why when you pick a vice president, You want to make sure the person understands your agenda. You want to make sure the person is in line with your movement, that the person is behind you. He's a vice president on the side of you. If he's a vice president, that the person is there to assist, but the person is not there to take the responsibility of what you have. Now, let me ask you this, folks. What if a citizen of the Republic of Liberia were to go to the Supreme Court and sue the executive that indeed President Baka have relinquished his constitutional responsibility? Would the Supreme Court rule that all of the appointment that is being made by the senators and Vice President Kong are not going to be rescinded? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. So, but that's what we're hearing. That's what we're hearing. So another issue that I have is the process. Why many Liberians are feeling this way? Because everybody that called from Liberia, they asking me, where your father doing so? What the old man doing? Why are our old men doing like that? What's going on? I don't know. I'm not in Liberia. Those of you that are in Liberia got more information. They don't know me. I don't know them. I only admire Ambassador Baka. Okay? So these people and the way they're doing this whole appointing process, it's I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is happening. So the issue is this. If the administration, it's you know, I'm getting ready to put my own foot in my mouth right now. You know, when President Baka, when President Weah were behaving like this here, I was on the platform. The man, I told you, he ain't able anything. The man know anything. You can't make president. But we're very quiet right now. When all of these things, I'm ready, yo. I'll set it up. The number is there. Mr. So, if you're listening, can you send the information to Sis Kotu, please, so she can join me? Okay. But the thing is, President Baka and his government, they have had these stumfuls of mistake from time to time. What's going on? But I'm also asking myself, Mr. To, are you sure you're the liberal? Why are you so quiet? I'm not being quiet. I'm talking. I'm talking. Please don't push me. I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm talking. I hope people will not make me to equal on the platform here. I hope Ambassador Baka and people, President Baka and his people may not make me to equal on the platform, because this is just every day you read in the paper. We have not seen anything to say certain deliverable are now on track. I haven't seen it. But some of us going to be involved. Some of us going to be involved. And it doesn't matter what area we're going to be involved in, we will have to be involved. Okay? Because this is just getting to be a little bit over the top, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. We have the Vice President Ryan Jack. We were just on joy. We are less than 4 months ago about Ryan Jeplin. And yet the Vice President, he said that a friend that on the same story job we have started with friendship on the Jeplin business. So if you were going somewhere and somebody offer you if I in Liberia and I'm going to Ghana, you think somebody will just get and say, "Oh, Mr. Toa, I'll get you." We got to be very careful. We got to be very careful. Why would we blame sedition if they think there's something behind the trip the vice president took? Why would we? Oh, it just happened that when you got there, the person who owned a $1 billion company, who also want to do business, hopefully in Liberia, he just saw you say, "Oh, I'll get you right." Like some kind of taxi driver, I will get you right. You will get in on the plane, you will get me right. Come on now, guys. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. We can't, if we took president, we have to tax on these kinds of stuff. On these kinds of stuff. And now they're creeping back into our way of doing business. I thought we said we're going to do business different than the business as usual. Why the business as usual is creeping into this administration so quick? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Now, Becky, man, you man, make people to eat crow here. Because sedition are just waiting to pound some people like me. Sedition are just waiting to put their claw on me and make sure that I eat crow on this table. Please, please. What is it? Liberia, is it really Liberia? Is it really elephant meat? It's according to the story. But then somebody will say, oh, front page Africa, as my good friend saying, front page Africa is always giving a fake news, and that they are a sedition newspaper. Well, whatever. So this is something that we have to be very, very careful about. Okay, let me see if any other news on this is something. Okay. What are they saying about? Okay, no. Okay, the people don't trust Front Page Africa. All right, that's fine. Let's go to what other new organization do you trust? Adekode? Okay. Okay. Nothing yet. Okay. So, folks, we're here, Liberia Public Radio. What can I say? But tonight program is a very good one. Just give me a minute here. Give me a minute. Okay. So,
corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace, because it will bless a lot more people.
there you have it. There you have it. That's the President of the Republic of Liberia, also frowning on corrupt behavior. And I'm not accusing anybody of corrupt behavior. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. But I'm just saying you cannot and we must not have people. I'm joking. Let me just say that one. I'm joking. But we're not there, yo. We're trying little by little. But I'm joking. To be honest with you. So I don't know. I don't know. So let me just open the line. I want to open the line for you to make your comment. But your man, I'll not even open the line right now. So, but anyhow, let's go a little bit deeper than that. Wow. I don't know. You know, this is the liberal out of words tonight, to be honest with you. This is the liberal out of words tonight. But we are not like the sedition. President Baka and his people are not like the sedition. They don't put their foot in their own mouth. They always. And what this president has done that I think is very interesting and very good for our soul is that he's very truthful. He's not going to wait until Sunday to tell you what is happening or what has happened. He will tell you immediately. That's what we're looking for in a leader. So he got that. The only thing is my people, I hope they will not put in a bubble again. You will not put President Baka in a bubble, my people. I beg you. I beg you. Because when you're putting a bubble, then that's when the stealing going to start. And here's the thing here. The Witherspoon, Stanton Witherspoon, I think his service to our country is measurable. His service, the Spoon Network, the way they expose people, is very helpful. And I hope that will continue. Because if these people are successful to put President Baka in a bubble, we're done. We're finished. Finito. 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 Because if they put their up, okay, first of all, if they put in a bubble, then they will start running the government and telling, President Baka said, President Baka said, President Baka, without us knowing the real reason. But the old man would not allow that because he's a true Liberian. He would not allow people to put him in a bubble. He would not allow that. And even God would not allow that. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, Terry, thank for the rescue. Thank for the rescue. Let me bring you on quick. Because right tonight, I don't know. People are really shaking me up. Thank you for the rescue. I appreciate it. I think perhaps it can help to lift my spirit right now. Because what I've been reading about Jeremiah Kuhn packing his own people in different ministries, if those statements, if those articles are true, then it is bad. But good evening. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, good evening, Libra.
Okay. What's on your plate?
Oh, well, there's a lot of things. Today, I heard the commerce minister is saying that rice have dropped 25%. I don't know, it's a 25 cents drop on the price of rice in the country. And I thought it's not a significant drop, but at least for a government that is starting, I think it's not bad. Yeah. But also you were talking some things and I was brought me on about, front page Africa. And front page Africa do break some news, but they have already been biased in the reporting lately. So
Okay.
I really do not take the whole entire something. I take the entire stuff with a grain of salt until proven otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was hoping to. Thank you. Thank you. But remember, it's out there. People
Right.
all over the world reading it. The international community people are reading it as well. So how do you think a president or the vice president need to come and respond to this thing quickly so they don't go out of control?
Well, he's out of the country now, I guess. If he returns, maybe at the airport, there will be a press, interview and questions will be asked and he can clarify, or he can call for a press conference upon arrival, wherein he will be able to adequately explain to the Liberian people what all these propagandas and accusations are about. Because like you said clearly, right, Prince Johnson is crying on the other hand that Ambassador Boyka is not responding to them the way he's supposed to, then how will Jeremiah Kun then now be employing people all over the place? So they are.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. But you will not be able to hear me.
You. They just
Okay.
yeah, I'm hearing you clear now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question now is Jeremiah Kun, let me ask you this. During the campaign, all of the action we saw of Jeremiah Kun, his movement and everything, I don't know him. But do you think you think from what we saw that there was something that we missed of him, or it is the true Jeremiah Kun that we all were praying to have serving President Mbaka as a VP, who would want to genuinely assist instead of trying to take some of the responsibility of the president?
Yeah, I think Jeremiah Kun is his own person, and Jeremiah Kun to me is not a guy that will resist President Boyka. I don't think that is within him. He don't look like that kind of character. And it seems like Jeremiah Kun and Prince Johnson is not even in touch right now. If you understand from what Prince Johnson explaining and what Front Page Africa is saying about Jeremiah Kun, it means that the both of them are not even in touch. They're not relating right now. They're not working together.
Let me just announce to the sedition that was hoping to catch me eating crow here. Terry has just lifted my spirit. So you all got to be very careful. Terry has just lifted my spirit. I am back. The liberal is back. This vice president, according to what we're hearing from Terry, just telling me that he's one of the best. So please save me from Page Africa. Don't come right on your nyama here. Terry, go ahead, my brother. Yeah. Thank you for rescue. You are the true rescue person for me tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, so yeah, I think there are a lot of things going on, and Sedition want us to play in the playbook, and they want to create this confusion between Jeremiah Kun and the president. They want people to begin to speculate, as they predicted before the elections, that Jeremiah Kun will be running the show. I even saw some kind of a propaganda of it say, oh, Jehovah, we said that Jeremiah Kun will be working, doing all the President Boyka work. That the same thing happening now. So they're running with that propaganda. Even the guy from on the Gosson Way on, he was running with that propaganda as well from Freedom FM. So that is what they want to say. And I don't mind them saying that, because obviously the seditions are still grieving. They're looking for a means to sail. They're looking for a means wherein the accusations and all of the assertions that they made prior to the elections come true. But unfortunately for them, the timing they're doing these things is very short. I mean, it's very limited. The people just been in power for 3 weeks. You have come up with so many accusations that cannot even hold water within a short period of time. The people just took over power. So I think we need to let it be. We need to give the people the opportunity. Ambassador Boyka made it clear that Jeremiah Kun will not be a parked car, in the garage like himself was. So obviously, I'm not surprised to see Jeremiah Kun making some huge steps in the internationally right now. That is what the old man promised.
I think you're quite right. One of the things, let me give you this. You're very smart, not only that, but you are on to sedition tricks. And I think you can see them far ahead before they even try to formulate their tricks. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Thank you for rescuing me tonight, because I was a little bit going in a rabbit hole. But thank you. No, it's a very nice thing to have you. So let's go on to the issue of the rice. I know I read that as well. The few weeks ago, when the minister, after he was confirmed, he had a meeting with the importers and the business people in Liberia. You think they are on board with this minister to make sure that the right prices go down?
Well, they're not on board, but they have to because power past strength. You know, like we normally used to say in Liberia, power past strength. The commerce minister have to put his foot down. Otherwise, the business people that control the rice price on the market will take advantage of the situation because they see a new government coming into power and they want to take advantage of the leniency of the government and the weaknesses of the government in terms of not being able to subsidy rice adequately, that they will be able to apply the you know, to be able to do what it normally do. Because President, we are left a huge gap that will never cover up. So the government now is struggling to restore that particular area. So the businesses are taking advantage of that opportunity to hiking the price of rice. But the commerce minister is saying, no, we cannot allow you to do this. Instead, we want you to drop the price. But then it's becoming tough on the business people because they are struggling because of certain incentives that the government should have given them. President, it was not forthcoming. I think you heard about certain $11 million. There is a $11 million gap that is still yet to be covered. So who takes care of those expenses? So that is why the business people are not happy with the situation. But the commerce ministry cannot do that, because if he does that by allowing them to hiking the price of rice, then it will become political, and it will, you know, that would not be a good thing for him.
Terry, let me dance for Baka a little bit. President Baka, I'm happy you did that for me, Terry. President Baka, oh yeah. But let me ask you this. The rumors that we've been hearing that Stanton Witherspoon want to take full control of rice importing business in Liberia. Will you prefer an individual, a Liberian individual, to be in full control of the rice importation business in Liberia? Is that something you would like to see, or perhaps then it becomes an issue where he will be able to monopolize the process and there will be no competition? Or will you still prefer the foreigners to be in charge of our stable food?
Well,
what would be your take on that?
I won't agree with both, but I would agree with the opportunity, opening the market for a competitive business trade. Because, you know, allowing a Liberian to monopolize the market, he will soon become the co-distributor of rice. And when that happens, he will determine the price in the future. So I don't think we want to go down that road, because we already having a global meltdown. We're having a global crisis economy-wise. We're having wars in other parts of Africa. There's a possibility that there can become strain on the economy. And once that take effect, one person who control the rice on the market can determine the price. So you don't want to monopolize it. And people are carrying this propaganda around that Stanton Witherspoon want to control the rice market in Liberia. I don't want to buy that. I think he might want to get into business, but Ambassador Bokar cannot allow one Liberian to be the sole distributor of rice, because it's going to affect Liberians in the future. You know, equally so, it's not healthy for foreigners to continue to control our rice price on our markets. Again, it also will affect our people, because they will also decide what the rice price should be, as they have been doing in the past. And they can have the right to inflate the price if they want to. They can have the right to drop it anytime. And that is not a good thing. So I think the government need to bring in a competitive, open the market up, let it become competitive. Everybody who have the ability to trade in the market can trade. But I will support that there be a limited quantity to each distributor, especially the foreigners, that the foreigners limit the quantity, because the reason why the foreigners have dominance over the rice market is because the foreigners have more money. So they can buy more, so they can bring in more rice and flood the market with it, and all with other guys who are Liberians that also don't have that much money, but they also bring in rice. And once they are dominating the market, they can influence those guys with little rice coming in for them to, and tell them, say, look, you know what? This is the price we want to sell the rice at. If you refuse, we'll put you out of business. So those other Liberian guys that are also struggling in the market, they're forced to comply. That, I believe, one of the reasons why the rice price continue to be at a certain high rate, because I believe it is also monopolized indirectly. Foreigners have monopolized the rice trade in Liberia indirectly, because they buying on a huge scale because they got the money.
I see. Let's go into the enemy territory. That's the sedition. Yeah. Let's trade in that. I will soon open a line and let's see if they want a car. But no, on a very serious note, they are the opposition. What do you see CDC? I'm not talking about right now. Right now, those sedition that are yabba yabba yabba, those are the fringe of CDC. They are not really sedition. But in the next 2 years, how do you see CDC position in the Liberian community in terms of politics?
CDC, if they do not recalibrate, they will die a natural death. Because sedition do not even have right now a candidate besides President Weah to put forth to the Liberian people, that the Liberian people will say, yes, this man is qualified for the position. They do not have. CDC is almost like Unity Party right now, who does not have a candidate for 2029. So in my opinion, like I always say on this network, I foresee that Honorable Alexander B. Cummings becoming the face of CDC. If that
and
becomes,
we'll plug there again.
Yeah, if that becomes the reality, based upon what Ambassador Boyka is going to do in his leadership, if he don't do what he says he would do, I see Alexander Cummings becoming the next president in 2029.
The next question. In the last 2-3 weeks, I've not heard anything from Jefferson Kochi. Nor have I seen his picture. And do you know what's going on with that?
Well, these guys are very cunning. You never know the next move. And I think Jefferson Kochi will want to play on a low key, because his name have been ringing a lot in President Weah's government. There are a lot of shenanigans going on with him. So the best thing and the best advice to him is to play low key, because Ambassador Boyka is also watching him. They're not going to take any nonsense from him. And also, most of the things that transpired in previous government, his name was allegedly painted on most of the, clandestine, most of the bad activities. So if I were Jefferson Kochi, like the aspect of arms coming in the country and his name linking to it, the aspect of people being brutalized and all those kind of things. So there are a lot of allegations on him. So the best thing Jefferson Kochi can do is what he's doing. Lay low, at least for a year or two, quiet down, designate your your job or the secretary position of the CDC to somebody else, reform the party, and let the party kick off. After a year or two, when your name have died down completely in the ears of the ruling establishment, and they're not looking for you, they're not running after you for any case whatsoever, then you can resurface. But for now, I doubt that Jefferson Kochi will want to show it here. Or else.
Last question on the debt. On the debt CDC, because they're done. But last question on that. Do you see the people, CDC and President Weah, still merging as one, or you see President Weah separating himself from these losers?
Well, President Weah, in my opinion, cannot separate himself from the CDC. I could be wrong. But politically, President Weah does not have, President Weah is the CDC. The CDC is President Weah. So President Weah, if he chooses not to run in 2029, that will be, and if CDC do not recalibrate themselves by bringing in somebody who will have the political capital to boost the morale, like we say in Liberia, then CDC is off. But President Weah President Weah became president by the CDC. President Weah got to be President Weah because of the CDC. Equally so, the CDC cannot be detached from President Weah. So if I don't believe that President Weah would totally drop the CDC, what I think he would do if he wants to return, he will have to recalibrate the CDC, reformulate them, write a new constitution, restructure the whole entire thing. Molu then will not be there as chairman. Chairperson Koji then will not be there. He will have to rebrand the CDC in order for him to have a smooth passage. But if President Weah leaves the CDC, a lot of citizens will be disenchanted because not disenchanted but disappointed. There are a lot of Weahians that will fall off the boat. They will just drop the whole thing. They will not continue with CDC at all because it is President Weah they follow. All the other people follow after. So I think President Weah cannot so easily drop this because we must also understand that President Weah is a politician now. What President Weah have tasted in power, he never had that opportunity on the football stadium. He will never forget the prince of the power he had, that he had the ability to speak and his word become a law. He had the ability to do whatever he wanted to do, travel any way he want. He had that prestige on the international scale. No other talent in the world can give you that opportunity. He never had that when he was playing on the soccer field. The only CDC gave him that opportunity, that platform he had. So he cannot detach himself from the CDC. All of what he's talking there is also mirage, is all joke, is all bluff that, I'm not going to be here, blah, blah, blah. But I think President Weah knows very well deep down in his soul that in order for him to continue to be the person he is on the international scale right now, politically, he needs the CDC as much as the CDC needs him.
I see. Okay, folks, again, Samson to La Brapa, I have with me Mr. Terrence Collins, who has lifted my spirit tonight, and I'm very happy to have him here. And but Terry, let's revisit some past issues, specifically the now resigned defense minister. I read in a paper, and I did a show here last night, where he met with President Bakai before his confirmation or even before the appointment, and he was able to engage the president on some of the things the lady was listing about lacking sanitation, lacking housing, better housing condition for the military. But those were things that was on his list. And when he had a meeting with President Bakai, there was the understanding that those things were going to be addressed, things that he have already listed, how he was going to renovate more barracks, how he planned to build more building and stuff. So if that story is true, do you think the women jumped the gun by making noise for this man to leave? And do you see there some sort of a regret later on?
Yes, certainly, Mr. Libra. The women, even though I was unfortunate to join you last night, but you had a very, very organized point and very, very significant topic on a discussion that scared the CDC away. What is like this guy had so much in his mind to do, but it seemed like he was undermined. He was undermined because of the struggle for power. you know, in his inner cycle, you know. But I think the women, like I was saying the last time on the show, right? In as much as I was thrilled and emotionally touched when I listened to that lady on when Mr. So played that, you know, that stuff with that lady reading that thing, this particular guy was never, the whole entire military was never audited. There was no real investigation done as to prove that whether if those things she was alleging to are true. So apparently, even though we lashed at the House, the Senate, for confirming this man, the Senate did not have anything to work with. There was no formal complaint to the Senate. They never had any document to say, you know what, there is an investigation on this guy, or there is a complaint on this guy on our decks. Maybe it's been on our deck for like 1 or 2 months ago, or 3 to 4 months ago, that we're looking at concerning all of his behavior. We don't have no kind of document. So everybody, it was a surprise to everybody. And apparently maybe that is why the president did not take it serious, because it was a surprise to everybody that these things were going on in the military, and there were no formal complaint that was laid out before the public. We didn't know about what was going on. We only hear it in gossip. It was in the wind. People came on radio station and it was the propaganda. So there's a possibility. I was shocked when you read those things, that Prince C. Johnson already knew the problem and was finding a way to address it. You understand? So you guys coming up now, so who, and you raised a very important point. Prince Johnson is now out of the way. Who is going to address it?
Yeah.
Who do they have to address what they were complaining about? That's the thing. So one will come and argue with us that, oh yeah, these people have been complaining about this thing. My question would be to them, did you hear it? Was it in any newspaper? Did you read about it about 4 or 5 months ago? If this was so, why didn't President we are addressed it?
Right. I think what I suspected that in that whole thing is that Samuel Twer and the rest of the people, they are because they control the money. I think this thing, the Prince C. Johnson knew about it, but that the fact that he couldn't get the finance to support his process,
right,
he became frustrated. And if whenever he is approached in the barracks, he couldn't find suitable wording to describe his frustration to these people. And perhaps he goes on with short fuse, something like that. But I think what these women did, most likely within a year or so, they will regret it. I just have that strong feeling.
I totally want to agree with you. Because Prince Johnson,
this man, most of the problem this lady listed, all of the problem.
Yeah, I heard you reading
older than Prince Johnson. Yeah. All of those problems, they're older than Prince Johnson. I used to live in a barracks in the 70s, 71, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, I move up. So I know most of these things in a barrack existed at the time. The how do you call it? The bathroom. You know, you've never been to the barrack before the war, have you? Did you?
I've been there. I've been to the barracks.
So they have these long buildings. Did you see those long buildings? There are two of them. One on the right, the other one on the left. The one on the right in front now, right by the field. The one on the right belongs to the band people. The one on the left, as you go in the barrack now, the one on the left close to the general office over there is the soldier. But two other buildings, they were built the same. So they have the bathroom in the middle of the entire structure. So, but the point is, the rooms are so small.
Wow.
And you know how we are. As soon as you're in the army, your uncle wants you to take your kids from the village to go to school in Monrovia. So as I was saying yesterday, my brother had about in a room, all of them put together, about 13 of them in a room.
Wow.
That is so small, and he was not alone. Many of these army people were like that. You can't stop them from being people. Okay. But the main thing that I was saying yesterday is that most of these problems, if not all, the problem themselves older than the general. So the general is very young, and he's coming in, and the fact that he has that list, that's the thing that really got to me. The fact that he has that list to go and meet with the president, and he was reading from his list the problems that he had jogged down, the problem that he knew he wanted to fix, and President Baka was on board. So I think the financial support from the government was going to be huge. Now, Prince C. Johnson now could do us a favor. Whoever next they bring in, he can pass that note on to them and say, I'm here. Even though I'm young, but I'm here. Whatever help you want me to give you, I will give you. Because the thing about it, he also, Prince Johnson, has invested so much time into the rebuilding process of the Army of Republic of Liberia.
Yeah.
So I think he invested.
Yeah,
so I don't think he wants to sit back and let the army crumble before his eyes. So that he's in a very bad situation. They push him out, but he wants to help. Now, with the army themselves, would they have a dry face just like me and say, yeah, we'll take you help? But they weren't going to help the whole situation as far as I'm concerned. The President Baka and his people, if they get into the investigation and do a serious, truthful, transparent investigation, they will find out those who are responsible are not even, they have no interest of moving the army forward. They have no interest of seeking promotion to move themselves up the rank. They are just the low rank, want to have certain things. So and once that investigation is done and the report come out, that will like a face-saving situation for the women and Prince Johnson. And hopefully Prince Johnson will come back and help the Army of Liberia.
Hopefully, but I doubt it. I'm hearing another news that Prince Johnson might likely go to NSA.
Oh,
but NSA, that he might likely go to NSA. I don't know how true it is, but I saw that propaganda on Facebook. It's a gossip anyway, so it's not reliable. But I'm hearing that he might likely go to NSA. But going to NSA, you got to have certain kind of knowledge. I don't know if he does have that kind of knowledge.
Right.
But Prince C. Johnson seems to be, and what amazed me is, why would you want to get rid of a young, trained military officer, of that nature? First of all, Prince Johnson in a society without a job, I don't think it's healthy for us. It is not even healthy for the society, even though he's a responsible man. But a military man need to be active.
He can come back here. He gets back here, he'll find a job. In the security sector, he will quickly find a job.
Yeah,
I think he needs to work for the U.S. government, become a citizen, work for the U.S. government, and he already have ears in the West African region. They can tap in, CIA can tap into that very quickly. Oh, you got a job. Oh, he will find a job.
Because he's too far from retiring age.
Yeah.
He looks like a man who is not ready to retire yet.
So I think maybe if he older than you, maybe he and Sissy about the same age group, or maybe a little bit older than Sissy.
That guy a little younger. I think he's about
he's
40,
very young.
49.
Very young.
Yeah. But however, I think the army got a lot to do, and this thing exposed a lot of hidden things to us, and it also exposed that we are not safe. It also required that because it seems like we are not ready. The army have been going through this kind of hidden things that we don't know of. But I think what I'm looking at, what I heard, I think there are some people in the army that Prince Johnson took some harsh decision on, based upon their attitude, some things they did, and he took some harsh decision on them by discharging them from the army. Those are the people that are really doing all these things.
Yeah, and I want to agree with you.
Yeah,
Do you know, and let me just tell you this other story. Biking, and I was saying this story last night. I know many people think it's a joke, but it's a serious story. Back in 1976, one afternoon, I came from work. I went to the barracks to go find something to eat. As usual, I know Mr. So say, "Oh, eating, who cares?" But anyway, when I went, people were jubilating all over the place, dancing. Everyone was almost on that little field dancing, because majority of the people have gotten promotion, sergeant, from private to sergeant, sergeant to captain, captain, lieutenant. You know, all these people got promotion. The entire place was filled. And I would bet maybe in the entire army of the Republic of Liberia in 1976, maybe about 65% got promotion. Less than 2 days later, Toba and his government rescinded the promotion. They brought every one of them back to their regular position they were in before. True story. True story. You can't do those kinds of stuff nowadays. You know,
the president is the commander in chief. He can do
you
it.
know what the army people are saying? Oh, the government made mistake. You're not leaving it alone. The person said they're not ready for us yet. And that was the end of it. That was the end. So the question is, how did that happen? Were the president not informed when the decision was made to make the promotion? Did they not know that when you make that promotion comes with the money? You know? But that's how they think the two party used to do. You know? So to have the like of Prince Johnson, who is not highly educated on it, but he's also have interest in the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia. He has invested a lot, as young as he is. He has invested a lot for the army to stay out of politics. Now, the other group that you're going to be bringing, how far are they going to stay away from politics? How far? Now, in Prince Johnson, we know at least he doesn't have interest in Liberian politics. His job is to make sure he is there to save, to serve the Republic of Liberia. If the need be that he will go and fight for the Republic of Liberia. And he has no interest in politics. Now you're bringing somebody new. Now we're gonna have to start watching for that again. You know, but that's what we have. I'm gonna open the line, Terry. Is there anything? Or you can go ahead and make some point. I'm gonna open the line.
Ambassador Boyka will have to weed those bad apples out. If he don't do that, I'm not sure he will have a safe and sound leadership. Because he is the commander in chief of the army. You know, in order for him to be the head of state, he have to take some drastic decision that will hurt some people, especially if he discover that this particular thing was organized by some guys in the army that did these things with the core intention to undermine his leadership. He have to take drastic decision. You know, Ambassador Boyka have been a quiet man, and I believe he got a loving heart and he very sympathetic. But when you become a leader, and I want to say this to him if he listen to me tonight, I don't know if he will.
Oh, he's watching right now.
So he have to put his foot down and be drastic. When you are a leader, when you are a president of a country, it's different from you just leading a mere shop or a mere organization.
But Terry, before you go on,
you have to. Yeah, go ahead.
Before you go on, I know what you're saying, but this man has always been the father. He's always been a father figure in any community, whatever he is. People look upon him as a father. You think he would want to come and put his foot down on Liberians?
Well, when I mean put your foot down, you cannot. There are certain things, liberal, as a leader, if you don't deal with it like with heavy hand, with iron hand, they will crush you. Even the Bible said it. The Bible said Jesus is coming back to rule Israel with an iron hand. You can't be a leader and be too soft. You can't be a leader and be too harsh. You got to be in between. And that is where I'm looking at Ambassador Barker. I think he will struggle to put on that iron hand that iron hand leadership. But in order for him to rule Liberia drastically, you see, Madam Sirleaf, there were certain things Madam Sirleaf did not joke with. And that is why the people call her the Iron Lady. Because she did not take certain things for granted, even though it was not part of her nature. You know. So
right.
he gotta be drastic in some area.
Hello, this is Boyma calling.
Thank,
It's an interesting show today. Terry, thank you
thank
for
you.
your analysis. Terry, you did some very, very great
Yeah,
analysis.
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Terry did a wonderful job
Thank you.
tonight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about the vice president.
Okay,
First thing
right.
is that when the boycott team came on to, they started to pretty much chart their own course away from the CPP. They had to make some very quick short-term decisions to win the elections. And I think that's where Jeremiah Cohn came in. But I think beyond the short game, they didn't look at the long game. And Jeremiah Cohn, as sad to say, is a business guy. They think long term. And as soon as they got on board, why that team was looking at, getting people in office and doing this other thing, Jeremiah Cohn and his team are looking at 2029. And so most of the actions are pretty much towards that. You can see Prince Mori as and also emerging as a possible VP candidate for him in 2029. And Yombly, of course, is the one that's pretty much being pitted to take that position. But I think Yombly needs to work harder because right now it seems like Prince Mori is pretty much in the middle of that. The next thing I want to talk about is.
Merge this. Hold on 1 minute, please. Let me merge this color and you can continue. Let me merge this guy. Okay, Barman, go ahead.
The next thing I want to talk about is that in that time, deals were made, and those deals had to be honored. Of course, we know that NIMBA was one of the major factors of helping Barker to win the elections. And I think those deals were made. What is disturbing is that Liberia still have the drags of, this factional leadership where different factions come together and they all share portions of government. And the issue with that is that the vetting process is very hard in this case. And this is something we took from the 90s when we had warlords. And surely Prince Johnson thinks that way. Senator Prince Johnson thinks that way because there's always been this factional leadership where these warlords had some warlords had labor, some had finance ministry.
Burma, the fact that your English is not Noko English, I intend to want to see if I can get some sort of a long birth certificate from you. But on a very serious note, it seems like you got your finger. You've been calling it. This is your third time calling here on this show. But it seems like you had a finger and a pulse on the pulse of the Liberian politics. Are you following Liberian politics religiously, or what's going on here?
Yes, I'm a different breed. I was actually born in New York, but I've lived a very, very large portion of my life in Liberia. So and through the war and all that. So I'm probably the last. I was actually the only American under 18 left, the only American citizen under 18 left in Liberia during the war. So that's my claim to fame. But yeah, so
that's a true birth certificate. That's a long form of birth certificate.
Yeah, but I'm Liberian through and through, and I follow that pulse very well. Think about it and this and that. But yeah, so this factional leadership has to go away, and the factional leadership, tribal leadership, all that needs to disappear in Liberia for us to have any sort of real change. Because people start complaining, our people didn't go in, and we forget Liberia. We think only about counties. And I think leaders need to look at that in a way of getting people to be Liberians instead of getting people to be only, people from Nimba or Bong and that's a major mindset shift that needs to take place. Thank you.
Thank you, Burma. Folks, that's Burma, one of the smarter young men I keep calling here. Thank you very much. So let's go to the next number. Thank you, Burma. Your next 916 number. 916. That's in California. 916. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Mr. Toh, thank you. My name is Sai. I'm calling from Sacramento.
Well, I hope you're not next door to me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. The show
Anyway,
is based here in Sacramento, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I always follow your show, and
Okay.
I love your input, and mostly concerning Road Network.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been praying that since your government now wins, so that at least they could call you so you can go to Tucson to face our road.
My people, leave me smile. I don't want to go. I just wanted the government to win.
Yeah.
I have none. I don't have much interest in the job business. But go ahead, my brother. Make your point.
Yeah. Anyway, I just
Can you hold on? Can you hold on 1 minute? Let me merge. I think I tell it. Let me merge the number, please. Hold on 1 minute.
Mr. Sosa on your side 110% today.
Yeah. Go ahead. 916 number. Go ahead.
Okay. I just called to tell you thank you for the work that you've been doing. You know, I'm very thankful for you guys. You and Uncle Alfonso. You know, you guys been working hard. But my thing is that I just appealing to you people to really talk to this government, because our people suffering over there concerning the light issue. That's what I called to you know, on the media all the time. I didn't people can listen to you, so that you people can use your influence to talk to the people back onto, you know, if they owe the company, that they didn't pay the company money to get our people light. You know, people sorry, the heat is too much in the country.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I called to get my input on that, so that you people can
Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah. Well, but just rest assured, hopefully I will meet you somewhere out in roundabout here in Sacramento, and we can meet and introduce each other. I'm not too sure whether we met before, but I hope to see you somewhere.
We haven't met.
Okay.
All right.
Usually I don't, not even usually, I don't even go out anywhere. I just come and do this. After the show, I go the next day, I go to work. That's it. I don't go out, you know. Yeah, so but I will make my duty now to start going out again, to go to function and things like that. But I try to stay away from those kind of things. When you get a certain age, those things don't excite you anymore. That's the problem. But anyway, I hope to meet you someday, and then we can have a fruitful discussion. But thanks for calling.
All right.
Okay. Let me go to the next caller. 701 number. 701. Go ahead. You're next. North Dakota. North Dakota. It's around 30. Hello? But why would North Dakota not say anything? Okay.
Maybe on mute.
Yeah. Okay. I'll call him back. But go ahead, Terry. You were saying something.
No, I was saying, Mr. Sosa, we are on your side 101%, under 110%.
Mr. So, yeah. Well, I'm sitting in for Mr. So tonight anyway. So let me call North Dakota again to see if he wants to make any contribution, and then we're gonna be wrapping the show. It's Friday, and I really appreciate you coming to join me tonight. Yeah. Hello.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Toh.
Yeah, thank you for joining. I was saying hello. Can you hold on 1 minute? Let me merge the other line, please. Just hold on.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. North Dakota. Go ahead.
Good evening again, Mr. Toh. This is the Bassa man from North Dakota, Trucking.
Hello, Bassa man. How's the snow over there in North Dakota?
Well, we've been lucky.
Oh,
we only experienced it once since they came.
Okay. All right.
So
I hope you will praise President Baka, then the snow and not count. They ain't President.
No, you see, I don't trust politicians the way you trust them. So that's the difference between you and I. You see, certain people I can give my trust to, but not politicians, because they can tell you something today and do something tomorrow different.
Right.
And then they will give you justification for what they do. So we live around them, we know them, especially if our Liberian wants them. But straight to the issue.
Yeah, please.
President Bwaka, there are few people around him that some of us believe in and will trust, like the security advisor, Samuel Kofi Woods. You're somebody I know of principle. He refused gift during Ellington. Liberian people went to him when they appointed him as how they call it, labor ministry. We were right on the street and the people came with their gift. He drove them. He said, no, you didn't give me gift. I was in the human right, doing human right activate stuff. Right. I'm going to come to government before you give me gift. I said this to say, Terry tried to back Kuhn, on some issue without plain issue. Now, if somebody will give you raw, when you are ordinary senator or you are ordinary gas seller, he did not give you the raw. We shouldn't create our own muscle then tomorrow time to beat them. We ought to beat them. It's about time now you nail him. Tell him this is wrong. We pray that it's too early to start, pushing the old man around, but that gave it a year. If a year comes from now and things can change, Kofi will be the first man to resign because I know he did it before in Ellen government. The Tiawan Congress, you see all that he did it to Ellen before, all of them resigned. He said, no, what we stood for is not what you're doing. So most of them left. They didn't stay there and spoil their character. Right. So it's too early to make force with water now. I'm just looking at him for like a year from now. When he can't change, then I will put him on Alexander coming bill now to engage him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for now, you're in
support. What I have to say. No, there's still a process. Okay. If you don't hear government, you make some more.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor man. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let me go to the next number. That will be DOWAH. Your next in line.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Zinan Dakinas Doa. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Thank you.
So many things to touch on, man. But I have a question real quick. Has the show started being aired in Liberia?
Oh, yeah. No, the show air in Liberia all the time.
Oh, okay. I'm here on the radio station, not on.
Oh, you mean radio station? No, we're not there yet. We're still struggling to get there. We're not on radio station yet.
What's the problem, man? They never show me the air because when the show air, the message go around a lot of rest on it.
It costs money. It costs money. I agree with you, but it costs money. And Mr. So is not one of those CEO that will go and do cash out and things like that. But we'll come to you guys. We're trying to. Mr. So is trying to set up something right now, and then after that, he will put a program together, and then we'll come to the audience for help to make sure that we have this radio station in Liberia. We're working on it. But we will be counting on you guys a lot. And Mr. So, once that time comes, he will be on here letting you know.
We'll be willing to support because we heard it about 4 years ago, man. We can't keep dragging our feet because now everybody has the unit to be on Facebook for 2-3 hours. Keep dragging our feet on that. So we need to support because there are things that we need to be listening to and they got access to radio. But the main point I want to make is that the brother mentioned Kofi Wu. I wouldn't be proud of Kofi Wu because when Kofi Wu was a labor minister, he got, I think there's no one can point out that he did positively. I was impacted by Kofi Wu's bad policies back home. But I'm not going to do it on him. The other brother next to you there, Mr. To, he mentioned about monopolizing the rights. He made some good points. But I don't think it's a good idea to put restriction on how many people on the amount of rights that somebody can input if they have the upper hand. As much as he do support, or we do support, nobody having monopoly over the input of rights, there shouldn't be a restriction on how many rights you get input.
Right.
I think that we need to start rebranding the minds of our people to support Liberian businesses. That should be key, the rebranding our people's mind. Because Liberian will get stored here, another Liberian or another Guinea gets stored, another go back from Guinea. So we do not support each other. If Liberians start rebranding their minds on uplifting each other, I don't give a damn how long they say they rest or next week, I'll have my Liberian brother. That's how the whole world, most of the places go. People support each other. Well, how many are going to go buy a restaurant on the Liberian? They're rather go buy it for somebody else to put in it. So we got to start rebranding my in order to populate the people business-wise. And then another thing is, I think our people are very lazy. Why are we discussing importing rice? The continent is big. We got more soil, rich soil. Typical Liberian, no farm. Somebody in America that will go in and buy land to start making farm. Will you in America and go back and go make farm? There's environment of go to the soil. Why should we discuss the importing rice everywhere?
Zina, let me hold you right there. Just from listening to you, I can tell that you're very young. So the whole time you're in Liberia, you never heard of Pusawa?
I heard about it. That's one of my favorite rice.
Okay. Pusawa, they don't grow Pusawa in Liberia. They grow Pusawa in Totan. They call it Yami. So some long green, we call it Yami, but no, on a very serious note. Pusawa is almost, the rice has always been imported. So it's always there for people to, but I do agree with you that our people need to do much, much more in terms of agriculture. And that's why this president in his arrest, the A in his arrest is for agriculture. But go ahead, finish your point, my brother.
So I don't see, that's one thing that I wonder if Liberia got educated people. Because I'm not seeing a real solid ideas for how to move that country forward. I'm not seeing no politician to come out with a solid idea. They say Joseph Boakai have an idea on how to do agriculture. Can anybody show a proven solid ideas on how you going to make the agriculture sector get better? Where you going to get the funds from? Where you going to get the equipment? How you going to manage that? Logistically. Nobody got a solid idea. We just talk mostly from mouth to mouth. To be honest, no politician in Liberia that I know got a solid idea on how to really create jobs. They just say, we'll create jobs. We'll hire people. So give me ideas how to create jobs. Nobody has an idea how we even get rid of corruption. Nobody has the whole idea of the whole country. People are not intelligent enough to come up with solid ideas and even follow up on them. We just talk on the basis, on the surface, but no.
Who told you that people don't have solid ideas?
With that in mind, how can we move forward? We look at the foreign in the country right now. Let's mental speed, for example. Mental speed, according to that website, I visited that website a couple of months ago, sometime last year. Mental speed take about 15 million tons of oil from our country. The revenue minimum around 1.5 billion per year. That's the revenue minimum per year. How much is that benefit? How much is the typical benefit even that? They're making 1.5 billion. They're taking all animal. What I'm government officials they're saying, telling the industry, saying, we gotta create some of these animals. Let's switch some of these things and start producing raw material. They start producing car engines. They start producing oil. They start producing steel raw for building material. Nobody coming out with solid ideas to the table. Industry brought all the they're working out, but they're making 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. This is Liberian brothers. I get it on my pay. They're trying to change the trajectory of how things going now, or how to create jobs. Look at Firestone. Robert Carolina. Who they're saying that they start producing tires in the country?
Okay.
Who they're making the place?
All right, my brother. Thank you.
It's irrational. I'm intelligent enough to put it under the raffle class. That's our frustration.
Thank you, Zina. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks.
I know that comments, man.
Don't hesitate to call anytime.
Is he your comments? Is he your comments?
I really appreciate your contribution tonight. Thank you very much.
Libera, is he your comments, man?
Huh?
He sounds like a comments man. Like a comments supporter.
Coming has a lot of impact on a lot of young people. Go ahead, North Dakota again. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, you know, North Dakota calling. You know that North Dakota is calling. How are you today, my big brother, Uncle Buckle? This is Teddy Okay. Teddy from Fargo, North Dakota.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
I can see Minister Sarah Beslow.
I was in Fargo last August. I was in Fargo.
Oh, okay, next time you come here, okay, the young will give good trade anyway. But you know, you post saying in my diary for no reason, President Weah left No problem. But CDC we're in the opposition, but we're here to checkmate you guys to set the contradiction.
Okay.
Well, I can see Sarah Beslow to be one of the very first ministers.
Can you lower your monitor?
Oh, monitor, is there any problem here?
Yeah, because we're having some echo from your monitor.
Oh, I only calling from my phone. Okay, let me see. Okay.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Anyway.
You can get me now?
Yeah, we get you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can see the foreign minister to be one of the very first person to resign from your government.
Why is that?
Based on integrity. And also,
don't leave her hanging like that there. You said, why would she resign? What kind of integrity problem that will make her resign?
The way you guys, coming up, you're being so it's an immature government. First of all, you're keeping the city so dark and dark, But when we came after you spent 16 years, 12 years, close to $16 billion entering the country. But President what I said is they squander all the opportunities. Okay, but then we met about less than 7 million in the consolidated account and less than 100 million in the reserve.
We're going to relitigate the issue again. I thought we're done with that thing.
But now when we were leaving, we left over 200 million in the reserve and $40 million there. But Baga King, he said 20 million. So he keeps lying and he giving some wrong, information. But however, the Liberian people will expect better of you guys to do the best for Liberia. But if you don't have a plan, you can still call the CDC and share the good ideas of you. But you want to be, be hot. We'll look at you will drown. You will drown. And we'll be laughing at you guys.
Thank you.
And your co-host on there, he came on and mesmerizing, analysis to give you some hope. You know that, but your government already feel you already. But don't mind what Terry have told you.
He took me from the hole tonight, though. But he took me from the hole.
No, Terry is a propagandist, so he knows how to spin around, make it look nice, but don't depend on that. But
okay.
But however,
Thank you.
I'm listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that will be the end of the call tonight.
Well, man, I'm not a propagandist, please.
But anyway, Terry, give us your closing. Zina, thank you for seriously. Your contribution tonight was very timely and it was very wise. As young as you are, I suspect that you're a very young member. Your ideas are way above your age, and I really appreciate it to see a young Liberian who would think about Liberia at that very higher position. I appreciate it, Zina. Thank you. Go ahead, Terry, give us your closing so we can get out of here.
Yeah, so you see, there are several things. Like the other guy was saying that Liberia, our politicians do not have any sound agenda. And the reason why I say that he sounds like Mr. Cummings supporter is because that is how Mr. Cummings people used to say that Ambassador Bogart does not know what to do. He's talking about agriculture, but he's not giving us what he's going to do in order to beef up the agriculture sector. The man had already told you what he's going to do. First of all, the man is a living proof of what agriculture looks like because he tried it before, he worked in the department before, he knows the mechanism. For Liberia to prosper, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist, but it also takes men with money. We need investors. We need people that will come to change the trajectory. You talk about the iron ore leaving and you need people to come and start manufacturing. People don't just manufacture things. You have Firestone over there for many years. Don't you think that all the presidents that ever came wanted for us to at least start making tires, buckets, pens, and all the kind of thing? Rubber, plastic, and rubber dishes. We could, but not that we didn't have the mindset to do it. But the problem is we don't have the reputable industry to do it. You are not a country that is able to attract the kind of investment or investors that will come to your country to invest in that kind of ideology. You don't have that kind of opportunity. So we need leaders down that will create that kind of opportunity for us. And with the country being, unstable, with that kind of security implications, how can you attract the kind of reputable people to your country to be able to invest? Like I was saying to somebody the last time, that you're talking about, what attract investors? You must have good rules. That's why Ambassador Boga keep talking about rules. You must have good rules so that when the investor comes, he will know that when he make the product, he is able to bring the product from the bush to the city. That is why you got under the HAPEC or what that is coming to invest billions of dollars in building roads, railroads. They want to build railroads because those railroads will help you to bring your product from the bushes into the town to be able to transport it out of the country. Liberia is still a rich country. Liberia resources have not been touched yet. We still have good forests, green forests. Liberia resources, I don't like people to say, oh, most of the money that Liberia generate is from people who input into the country, business people. But the Liberia real resources is still in the ground, yet to be touched. Because we don't have the access to those we don't have the reputable access to those materials. For example, you don't have roads, you don't have electricity, you don't have water, common things like water, we don't have it. These are things that we need in order to create an atmosphere for investors to be attracted to our economy. When you don't have roads, you are not secure. When you don't have electricity running in your country, you threaten investors from coming. And a man who want to invest that need to have a huge industry built, he can't be using generator. He needs the current to be supplied to him from a hydro or something, where he will pay a lesser amount to run the current so that his industry can run efficiently to generate the kind of the money he needs. So we got to look at all of that. That's the reason why you see that certain investment is slow to be achieving our society. Like they were talking something. When I was in Lofa County, I was eating the rice that the people plant in the soil. They got different kind of rice in Lofa. When I was in Lofa, in Foya to be Pacific, I lived in Lofa for 2 years. I was not eating pusawa. I was not eating the parboiled rice. I was eating the rice that the Lofians can cook. And the Lofians, I think they sell like 9 cups. At the time, I was buying 9 cups of rice for $100 Liberty. And they still do it up to today in Lofa. The people, every year, the people plant rice on market day. The people bring rice to the market, they sell it. The people in Lofa do not worry much about, they eat parboiled rice, few people, but not everybody eat parboiled rice. And when I was there, I was not eating parboiled rice. I was eating the rice that the people make in Lofa County. So what I'm saying is that for Liberians to start, he said, make Liberians to be attracted to their own thing. All the people who bring it rice, they bring it rice from outside the country. And the reason why Liberians are attracted to the parboiled rice is because that is what we know from day one. So it's not about attracting Liberians to buying their own things or investing in their own people. It is about bringing the quality of what you have to the level of the international standard that Liberians can gravitate towards it. Like people are talking about the musicians, local Liberians today, Liberians are listening to their own music now. Liberians are investing into their own comedians. Before, it was not like that, Mr. Libra. Liberians never had time for their own music. Liberians were not buying their own records. Liberians were listening to foreign music. In fact, Liberians were not people that love music. Movies. Liberians were not investing into their own movies. All right? So it was not because Liberians don't like it. It was because it was not at international standard to meet up with the desire, with the likening. But nowadays, most of our musicians, they're going to Nigeria, they're making music with the Nigerians. So when they make music now, it sounds pleasant to the ears of Liberians, so they go for it. You see it? So you have to bring your product Even our comedians are improving. That is why Liberians are gravitating to them. You know, so when you bring your art or the quality of what you know, when you bring it up to international standard, Liberians will go for it. But the reason why many people do not gravitate to things made by Liberians or things done by Liberians is because of the quality, the value we give to it. We have to add value to our craft, to what we're doing. If it's music you're doing, add value to it. Go on the international scale, look at what international people do, and bring it to yourself and add upon it. Go, you know, use international methods in order to attract your listeners or to attract your viewers. Like this little boy, there's a little boy they call one of these musicians. I know Gino or what. I don't really know his name that much because I don't follow. But this boy now have gone international. He's a musician. Why? Because his music is mixed with Nigerian, you know, with Nigerian lyrics, with the Nigerian palang. And so millions of Nigeria is over 200 million people. So if you have that kind of music playing with the Nigerian palang mixed with Liberian collabo, millions of Nigerians want to listen to it. That is why the music is going high wire on the international community. So you have to bring your art, your craft, or what you're doing, you have to bring it up to standard in order for you to get the Liberian community to attract to it, because Liberians are only 5 million people. That is the reason why our business do not sell the way we expect it, because we don't have the population. You know, so I think I need to find time to explain this on a different podcast.
Yeah,
one of these days. You know, the reason why Liberians are struggling in many areas of their craft. You know,
thank you.
All of that. Yeah,
thank you, Terry. Thank you, and we'll say good night to you. But we really appreciate your coming in tonight. First to rescue us, and then making this wonderful statement tonight. Thank you. We'll be back again on Sunday. Hopefully, you'll be here to join us as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Again, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again tonight, sitting in for Mr. Soul, who is under the weather. And tonight, it looks as they're scary. Because the last time I say he under the weather, blue, he can't join. Then he tried to suppress me. He went by the people that were watching, they called him. They said the man said he's sitting for you. You going in there and start to suppress him. So he's scared tonight. He's not coming in. That one thing I love about Liberian Public Radio audience, when they can watch everything and they will express it to the CEO. But I want to thank all of you, especially Terry. Thank you tonight. That was a wonderful contribution. Zina, Lion, Terry, thank you guys. Bazabor from South Dakota, thank you guys. It's a wonderful show. I really appreciate when you guys call to make your contribution. We might not agree on many things. That's okay. We'll come. But I like the way you guys approach me, even if I'm so ridiculous. But even CDC, when I say CDC, put their foot in the mouth. Well, when they come to engage me, it's always civil. And that's what we want. That's what we look for. But thank you guys very much. It's been a wonderful time. Please, it's Friday evening. Stay safe out there. Please don't drink and drive. Stay safe. It's very important. Everyone has someone that loves you. Please stay safe. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. Folks, I will say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful evening. And again, good night, folks.